popcorn, grab a Coke, and find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops, and nuts, they're our topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From backhand twos to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.
Welcome to the Ejectables. This is the show where movie enthusiasts Bill and Ian join forces with a weekly rotating guest to celebrate movies that we feel have been unjustly panned by the critics or sadly ignored and forgotten by audiences. Anyway, today's guest is Hudson Handler, and here's a little intro.
Today's guest, Hudson Handler, was born in London, England, a long time ago, possibly in the times of William Shakespeare, but he will not tell us. He was a graphic designer at a major New York City advertising agency when he met his future wife, Miss Mabley. Aside from his work in graphic design and photography, Mr. Handler always had an interest in architecture and interior design. Partnering with his wife, Miss Mabley, to form Mabley Handler Interior Design is a full-service interior design and decoration firm based in the Hamptons. They are very knowledgeable of the Hamptons design trends, art scene, and real estate dealings. Everybody welcome the one, the only, Hudson Handler, from the time of William Shakespeare.
Hudson, welcome to the show.
I don't know how it got to be from the time of William Shakespeare, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good time to be from. That's a classic London time.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio.
Did you get that from him directly?
Yeah, he called me up before before we started taping. He's like, I got a good line for you to just drop in there,
There were no phones then, so that's a lie. He could not have called you.
Busted.
Happy tap on your door.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, Hudson, have you seen any new movies lately?
I have. I think the last thing I saw Sinners, and I saw The Phoenician Scheme in the last month or so.
You are the biggest Wes Anderson fan in all the world.
I will say, I do love Wes Anderson. I'm at a tipping point where I feel like Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, those are some of my favorite of his films.
Agreed.
I think he's gotten better and better as a visual filmmaker. His last few films, I feel like it's almost like a cut and paste of like the same vibe in
Like
different countries. It's like he's gotten it to such a high level, and he's sort of there, but he's not doing anything different. Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums had quirky characters, but they also had characters with heart. I feel like it's all quirk and it's like losing heart. So I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, okay, I've seen this and I'm ready for you to do something different, show us something different. You've mastered this world, show us something different.
Agreed.
So Phoenician Scheme was fine. It was, as far as I'm concerned, relatively the same as Atomic City, as French Dispatch. All very, very good, well executed, and a little bit like it's high, it's up here, but it's like straight, like nothing going on other than like beautiful sets and costumes and super quirk.
If you had the Phoenician Scheme in one hand and you had Sinners in the other over the side of a cliff, and you can only bring one to safety, the other
100% Sinners. Like that, like talk about the complete opposite of like, show me something different. That was phenomenal. That was different. I didn't know what I was in for. Speaking of musicals, I was thrilled with the way it incorporated music of all different styles in all different ways and all different types of performances,
Yeah.
both, big party scenes and the small little a cappella scenes. Um,
Agreed.
I, being part Scottish, hearing a little, "Will you go, lassie, go" thrown in there. Wouldn't
There
it
you
in a
go with the
million years
Shakespeare.
have expected that? Like that was just, I mean, chef's kiss. It was,
I,
and just topically throwing the vampires in and antebellum South, like it was fantastic.
I didn't once it got into the vampire stuff and I see what they were doing, I liked it a lot less because I thought that was inferior. I love horror, as you know,
Mhm.
and that was just not very exciting or well done horror, but I loved everything that came before that.
They created a beautiful world, and I've seen lots of people say, I, they need to build on this world because it was too interesting for this to be,
A one.
a one and done.
And it made too much money. They will be back.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to turn that down.
Yeah. Uh, Bill, did you see Superman?
No, I didn't see it. Is it good?
You did see it. He's lying. In my opinion, I did not. I'm sorry.
I didn't see it. Which one? The Man of Steel? That's a good movie.
The brand new one. I didn't like
No,
it.
I didn't.
I
I
didn't
didn't see
like
it.
it. It's a big cartoon movie with cartoon things fighting cartoon things and cartoon worlds, and I was bored out of my mind. And it
I
lacked heart.
I saw the trailer, and I mean, never forget about, the dog. Like I'm a huge dog fan. We have 4 dogs.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, this is gonna be cheesy. And it just got worse and worse. I'm like, if a trailer doesn't even hook you a little bit, I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no way the movie's gonna be good. Everything I've seen from the people that have commented about it have been surprisingly positive, and every time I read it, I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way it can be any good. I don't think I'll see it.
I can't wait to see it.
Bill's a liar, pants on fire. But I will not.
There's a really nice guy I know in it, so I'm not going to say anything bad.
He was great, by the way. Best part of the movie.
Stop it.
Well, no, he was. Okay, he doesn't. Yeah. Okay, we'll move on. So, Austin, today we're here to talk about movies that we feel we're not really given an opportunity to fly. And your movie, I think, is a perfect example of a movie not given an opportunity to fly and maybe didn't get the best reviews in all the world. So, Austin, what movie did you choose?
I picked The Adventures of Hudson Hawk. Most people know it just as Hudson Hawk. This is a movie. So when I started college, I had a couple part-time jobs working in a bookstore and a movie theater. I was living my best life. Those were, I mean, it was my heyday. This was the movie that came to the theater that I worked at, and I was an usher there. And I'm probably one people that can say I saw this in the movie theaters easily 15, 20 times, and easily as many times since then. I wasn't tapped into Entertainment Weekly and Premiere Magazine and, the gossip talk shows. So I wasn't aware of the negativity around it.
Sure.
And I mean, I loved it, and I took my girlfriend at the time to go see it after I'd seen it 5 or 6 times. She looks at me after the movie's over. She's like, "What are you talking about? That was a terrible movie." I was hurt. I was like, I didn't understand how you couldn't see the humor in it. And then, of course, over the months and years, it really became one of the, almost like the cornerstone films of what eventually became, Rotten Tomatoes, of,
Yeah.
calling out movies that were just, viewed in its time as terrible. And it just always surprised me. I just thought it was such a fun, charming, you know, like happy, silly movie. I, I, I listen. I understand not every film is for everybody, but I couldn't understand the impassioned hatred and mocking of it. Almost near universal. It just made no
Yeah.
sense to me. So that was my take from my little island.
Were you a big, I mean, I went into this movie and the trailers made it look kind of fun. I think I wanted it to be Die Hard. It was advertised as more of an action film.
Mhm.
And I was one of the haters at the time. I'm like, what is this? This is not what I wanted it to be. And maybe that's it. I went in with a different, I was misled to think it was something else. And I appreciate it a little more now than I did then because you made me watch it again, and I could see why people like it. It's funny. It looks like they're having a good time. I wouldn't say all the jokes land.
Certainly not after this time. I mean, like there's like a Nintendo joke that it just, I mean, Nintendo's just as, exists just as much now as it did back then, but
Yeah,
just the way it was shoehorned in as a joke, and apparently it was supposed to be a bigger part of the film, that they even had to, as with many films, things get, the chaff gets cut, and that was,
sure.
kind of a part of a storyline that was, almost, completely eviscerated. So there was some remnants of it, but yeah, a lot of them were tongue in cheek, but yeah, but I think that was part of the fun of it. I mean, it's when I look at a film like that, and then I look at films like The Naked Gun and Hot Shots, Airplane, all those tongue-in-cheek films. It The funny thing is, I think Hudson Hawk maybe gets criticism because it actually tried to be fun, but also have a plot, and
Yeah,
have a love story, and do some action, and tell a story. Whereas some of those Naked Gun movies, it's almost irrelevant what they're doing.
yeah, like
Everything's
Top
a
Secret.
setup for a visual sight gag, like a pun, a double entendre, all of that. It's just layer on layer on layer. And this actually, I feel like, tried to have more nuance, and actually be referential of other films. I heard the director Michael Lehman say that they used William Conrad for the narrator at the beginning and the end of the movie, who he was the narrator for Rocky and Bullwinkle and Dudley Do-Right. And so that was his way of saying, this is going to be cartoon humor. This is going to be fun. This, you don't have to take this too seriously. And you felt that by hearing the voice, but when you know that, you're like, oh yeah, that's a perfect way to kick it off.
Yeah, pretty
Austin,
simple enough.
Austin, actually, I have a question, Austin. How many people asked for their money back in the movie theater that you worked at?
Nobody did. Like, nobody. I mean,
Lies.
there was not a vibe. Listen, I will say, it was a tiny theater. There's two screens,
Which
and
theater
and
was this in America?
this was a theater in Newton, New Jersey. You could tell that it used to be one screen,
Yeah.
and back in the 70s,
Bill is
80s.
from New Jersey.
And they split the theater right down the middle, so you had like
Oh yeah.
two really, really long, cinemas. And I mean, when a big movie played, you might have 60, 80 people, but for the average, especially weeknight movies, 20, 30 people. So it wasn't, you didn't have a huge theater going experience, most of the time. And it was a lot of high school kids, a lot of older people. They, came in, saw what was playing, left.
And this film was rated R, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
that
there's
killed a lot of audience.
language. I mean, the violence was very cartoony, a little
So I
slicing and
think
dicing.
a younger audience could have helped this box office because this movie
Yeah.
bombed in every
Yeah.
way. Should we see a clip?
Sure.
Sure.
Here we go.
Hey, mister! Are you gonna die?
Oh no! How am I driving? 1-800, I'm gonna fucking die!
So I have an interesting story about that scene. So I grew up in New Jersey, and they filmed that the weekend Die Hard 2 came out. And they shut down the bridge on a Friday night, and people were livid. News crews were out there. They're like, Bruce Willis is making a movie. They shut it down for hours on end. There was a near revolt. And it's like, I'm not going to see Die Hard 2 because of this asshole. It was hilarious.
And that's why Die Hard 2 bombed.
No, it did not.
I
It's a
know.
very big hit.
The same writer on both of those films, Steven D'Souza.
Yeah.
And
The director
Well,
mentioned
Daniel Waters rewrote it. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
rewriter on it. Okay.
The original story was Bruce Willis had been developing this character for years, and Steve D'Souza wrote it. And from what the director said, it was really more of a action adventure movie. And he said, I've seen this so many times, and so that's why he wanted to do something different. That's why he brought in Dan Waters to inject more, offbeat humor to it, and sort of take it in that direction.
That makes sense. And I guess this was the first and the last time that Bruce Willis had any involvement in working on a screenplay. Would that be?
From what I understand, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know if you checked, the IMDb or the letterbox, but it didn't look like Michael Lehman had a very long career after this either.
Yeah, because he did Heathers, which was huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
He
It
was
was
supposed
big.
to direct. He was supposed to direct Ed Wood. So
Oh,
the people that wrote Ed Wood, they wrote Problem Child, and they cried during a screening of it. And then Michael Lehman directed Hudson Hawk after Heathers. So they came up with this idea to make them. They felt like they were Ed Wood in their own respect. So what happened is they developed a biopic of Ed Wood, but then Tim Burton got it, and Tim Burton had like 6 weeks to decide because he was about to do Mary Riley. And he jumped off of that, and then Michael Lehman, to his credit, said, "Okay, if Tim Burton wants to direct this, I'm going to let him direct it." So that was the start of Ed Wood.
interesting. Wow. So
Yeah.
this is the movie he followed up Heathers with?
Yes. Well, yeah, Daniel Waters. Yes. So Bruce thought, okay, so I know a lot about this movie, and if you on our channel, there's an interview with the screenwriter, the great Daniel Waters, who wrote Heathers and Adventures of Fort Fairlane, and Hudson Hawk and Demolition Man. And he is one of the hottest writers in Hollywood. He's still working.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. And so I know a lot about this movie. Michael Lehman was on a podcast. Gilbert Gottfried had this amazing podcast called Colossal Podcast, Colossal Obsessions. And he talked about like he's giving people money that ask for money back while driving for Hudson Hawk. It's really funny. So what happened is that Bruce Willis just took over this movie, and he was at the height of his fame, and he really thought he was doing like a Wayne's World type of hit movie. And Danny Aiello was quoted as saying, "I have no idea what the fuck is happening in this movie. I'm just going along."
He's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, he says, and he lived in Ramsey, New Jersey, where I grew up in. So this is the time that Peter Guber and John Peters, they ran Sony, and they were just throwing money, spending millions of dollars trying to make the studio work. And they produced this colossal flop. I don't think Bruce Willis worked with Joel Silver since. I'm with Austin. There is such amazing stuff in this movie, and it's all real effects.
Mm-hmm.
When the guy gets shot and lands on a lamppost. Richard E. Grant is a marvel in this movie. He's unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yeah, Sandra Bernhardt, second best role after the King of Comedy.
I can't stand her.
I know, but
I don't necessarily like her,
Yeah.
but you're not supposed to like the Mayflowers. They are. Talk about a cartoon villain. They're the apex of cartoon villains in this movie. So I feel like she's so well used in that, and Richard E. Grant. He's as subtle as he can be, and in so many roles, he's just dials it up to perfection, and she's right along for the ride.
Did you hear what he had to say about the movie?
Yeah, they knew they were going to be in trouble, so they decided.
A pile of steaming hot donkey droppings.
they knew that they were going to be in trouble, so they started playing it up and having the time of their lives. So Joel Siegel once said about Bonfire of the Vanities, which is my favorite book, and there's no excuse for that movie, because you have to be a genius to make a movie this bad. And I agree about Hudson Hawk. It's genius, but it's bad. It's really bad, but it's genius. The dialogue, there's such amazing, smart dialogue, quips in there. It's not lazy, the hate for it. It's just a giant misfire, but it's such a misfire. You gotta love it, man.
You're trying so hard to entertain you, so that's how I.
They're not trying. I've like the new Superman tries really hard. It's like telling you. See, I want to talk about Superman. I hope you're happy.
You did see it. He's a liar.
They're trying to tell you, like, hey, this is what's happening, but we're going to tell you instead of showing you. They're not throwing stuff at the wall here. They legitimately think that they're legitimately in the zeitgeist of what they're doing as a movie with the dialogue and the and the in terms of like the story of all the characters, like there's some really deep thoughts in this movie about the CIA characters.
Yeah.
I mean, when that line that James Coburn says, like, someone powerful, the president, no, someone with real power. That's unbelievable. I mean, find like a movie that is as smart and as witty as that. You can't.
And I meant that in a good way too. Like they were bringing all these elements together, and they really were working hard. Weren't like trying hard, like, oh, we'll just throw everything. I'm just saying they gave us everything that they
had
thought
unlimited resources, and they didn't know he really thought he was making a hip movie. I'm just glad I was
Well, it seemed they really cared about the story they were trying to tell.
Yes.
He really cared about the film references, the intentional casting. Like, you know, I mean, we've all seen bad movies where you're like, you know, they just phoned it in. This is flat. This is basic. This is generic.
It's a paycheck.
Paycheck movie, you know, at best. There was a lot of effort put into this, and it just tonally, it sort of, you know, it just kind of, it sort of tried to bridge too many genres, and sometimes that's brilliant. A lot of times it ends up being, you know, something that's misunderstood.
And shockingly, it's very low budget. They made this on a 1.5 million. Not true.
No,
it's
no. This was a
but interesting. The just about everything was you know, practical effects and stunts. I think the little light effect that they used in the in the gold machine. The director mentions that was an ILM little tidbit, like that, and I think they used like digital removal of some of the wires in the flying machine. But everything else was pretty practical.
It looks great. I think
I'm just glad I was live during when a movie like this could get made. You know, it's awesome.
To me,
it's such a disaster, but it's so awesome.
It felt like an Abbott and Costello movie to me.
Yeah, I think or that Three Stooges, like that the fight scene at the end between Bruce Willis and James Coburn, where he keeps like flip-flopping, you know, up and down. I mean, it's right out of that. It's, you know, is it realistic? The way he, you know, what they fall off they jump off the building and land in, you know, and hit the awning, and then all of a sudden it's like a smash cut to him landing in a chair with the Mario brothers. You know, it's like none of it makes sense. It's all cartoony. It's all
super goofy. Yeah,
it's all silly and goofy, but you know, it just
think
makes
it
it
would have
entertaining.
known that going in back then. You were advertised correctly, but it's cool though that Da Vinci actually endorsed this film, and he still likes it. Yeah,
and also please check out the interview with Daniel Waters on this channel. It was one of our best interviews we've done.
Lickaholics on YouTube, people.
Well, you're watching it.
Yeah, you are watching it now. Oh yeah, and just I wanted to say Andie MacDowell. I thought this was such a fun role for her. Like when she's doing those like dolphin sounds, I don't know. She looked like
that's so charming, and just the look of earnestness on her face, where she's I mean, like, talk about not phoning it in. Like, she is
exactly
committed.
And she could have been like, "This is so embarrassing. I'm not going to do this. This is my career." But it was funny.
She went all in. I think, you know, I think the other problem with it is, to your point, anyone that you know was expecting Die Hard, maybe people forgot, you know, it wasn't that long after, but Bruce Willis got his start on Moonlighting, doing completely silly, goofy, you know, back and forth, snappy dialogue. So that character wasn't too far away from this. So, you know,
I think we were almost too young for that though. So I know, like, I didn't watch Moonlighting.
You didn't watch Moonlighting?
I did.
Did you watch Moonlighting? Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are way older than me.
The Andie MacDowell role was supposed to be Isabella Rossellini.
Yeah. Which, by the way, would have made sense with her being Italian.
Yeah.
What's that, Ian? Did you miss what I said?
No, I got it. Yeah. Rossellini would have been good, but she didn't get it. I forget why. I didn't hear you. I love you.
What did you say?
I think
Nothing?
it was production delay. It was production delays, and by the time they were ready, she wasn't available. And they had another an actress for that role, a Dutch actress who I forget her name, and they started filming with her, and apparently she had terrible back issues. And I think they filmed a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, and she had to bow out. So they had to bring Andy McDowell in a little bit late in to catch up with the filming.
Did you hear that, Ian?
I did hear that. No, I can hear everything Austin says.
Okay. Same goes with Austin. I only hear Austin.
What? Okay, so I think we've covered this. Shall we move on to my amazing pick?
Yes, I will say
sorry.
one last thing. So
Yeah.
here's an endorsement for anyone thinking about watching it. During COVID, when we were, at home watching lots of movies, I introduced my kids to this movie, and they were, I think, 15, 14 and 17 at the time, something like that. And we're all laughing during it. It's hard not to laugh, whether you like it or not. Like, there's gonna be jokes, you're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
And I looked at them after it ended and said, "What do you think?" And my eldest son Colin looked at me, and he said, "I'm so glad this movie exists."
I agree with your son.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that someone of that generation could see you know you know a movie from the early 90s, and that was misunderstood at the time. He didn't catch any of the negativity about it. He was just, coming out of the gates looking at it, and he saw it for the fun that it provided. So
That is
let that be the guiding statement for anyone that's thinking about giving it a go.
maybe I'll
And
show
I'm glad Ian exists.
Thank you. I'm glad you exist, Bill. But more so, I'm glad that Austin exists from the time of William Shakespeare. Sorry. Okay, so I did so before my wife, Bill's going to say I chose this movie because my wife is Belgian. Not true. I didn't know her when I saw this movie. I met my wife in January of 97, saw this movie in 1996 when I was 3 years old, and it's called The Eighth Day. In French, it's called Le Huitième Jour. And it stars Pascal Duquesne, I don't know how to say that, and Daniel Auteuil, whatever. I can't say either. I know. But it is a film about this young man with Down syndrome who's been put in a home. His mother's passed away, and he's lonely, and he just wants to go home and be home with his family, though he has no family to go home to. And he runs away from this home, and he runs into this man, this businessman who's having a little bit of turmoil in his own life, and they strike up this friendship and go on a little road trip together. And I think it is a magical, whimsical film. It's sad, it's touching, it's a little maybe overly sentimental, but I think it's beautiful and it's different. And I think it's definitely worth taking a look. It was I think a huge hit over in Europe and very well respected. And then you'll get Bill's opinion. But should we play a clip?
Tout le monde bien. Mon copain. Mon copain.
It's directed by Jaco van Dormael, who went on to direct that movie Mr. Nobody with that guy that looks like Courtney Cox, who's a guy. What's his name?
Who?
An actor.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Mr. Nobody stars. What's his name? He looks just like Courtney Cox.
It looks like Courtney.
They look like they could be twins. He looks like Courtney Cox in the Springsteen video.
I think he looks like you.
What? Well, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
What's his name? Why can't I think of it? Jared Leto.
Oh, no.
Who are you thinking?
Oh, Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the movie. Isn't there? What's that? Is there a movie Nobody?
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
With what's his name? The guy that looks
Bob
Odenkirk. Bob Odenkirk. That guy looks like you.
I see that. I do see that. I don't get a lot of Jared Leto, but no, Mr. Nobody was a pretty big bomb. But I saw this director at a screening for Mr. Nobody and I auditioned for that in Belgium. And I was like, I love The Eighth Day. And everyone loves that movie there. And it was just, I'm like, when's that going to be released on DVD in the States? It's really hard to find, but I think it's a beautiful film. What did you think, Austin?
I texted you. I didn't know what it was about, because the DVD you lent me is in French and I don't speak French. So thankfully there's
Wait.
subtitles on the film. So
Okay, good.
I didn't look up what it was about. I just even a quick glance at the case didn't give anything away. I was not emotionally prepared for, I thought it might just be like a little buddy friend movie. I wasn't emotionally prepared for, it was, as you mentioned, it was touching, it was heartbreaking. It sort of caught me out of left field. And I I definitely appreciated the story. It was sadder than I was expecting. And I think I'm not saying that as a, to say that I don't
Yeah.
think it's a good film, but when you say, like, did I enjoy it? It was hard to enjoy, some of those. I mean, that's some really tough moments.
Yeah, there's some
That
challenging scenes for
yeah,
sure.
it's definitely challenging. But I think it's done in a beautiful way. But yeah, it was one of those movies where I'm glad I watched it, and I appreciate it, and I love the, talking about quirky filmmaking,
Yeah.
some of the fantastical elements of how George imagines things, and as he's looking at a TV, and all of a sudden he's in a nightclub,
Mhm.
instead of watching a video on TV, and then all of a sudden he's dancing in a club.
With the
It's
musician on the hood of the car singing to them
Yes,
while
yeah,
driving.
yeah. That motif, follows throughout the film. So it reminded me, almost of Amelie, just like the very
Oh, yeah.
quirky,
Yes.
style of filmmaking. So I think that was one of the saving graces that sort of helped keep things light. So I think that was
There
a
is
that was a
humor.
good choice. And yes, and there is humor throughout. Um, uh, so yeah, definitely glad I saw it. I don't think it's something that I would kind of go back and
Easily
and
choose to see
revisit, just
again.
because it was heavy. It was definitely heavy. And again, sometimes you're going into seeing a heavy movie. I saw Still Alice at the Hampton Film Festival when it was released, and I knew what
Yeah.
it was about, and I went in, and it was as advertised, as about as heavy as I expected it to be. And it's another film where I'm glad I saw it, but
Yeah.
I don't think I can go again.
I love heavy movies. I mean, there's some scenes rewatching it this time, and we'll get to you in a second, Bill, before you destroy my movie.
I'm not destroying your movie.
I think it's a beautiful looking film. I think musically,
Yeah.
acting, it's beautifully shot. Um,
Mhm.
but there's some challenging scenes where he has some confrontation with his soon-to-be ex-wife, and those are difficult to
Yeah.
watch. But I was
Yeah.
thinking that's probably a very realistic portrayal of people's, sometimes difficulties, and maybe getting a little too aggressive with each other, where we would
Yeah.
not see that on screen now.
100% not. Yeah.
Yeah. But what'd you think, Bill?
And I was going to say, when seeing that, I w- in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I hope they don't spin this around and she ends up, taking him back at the end, because that's gonna
Yeah.
be a really tough sell. And I think she's sort of acknowledges his efforts, with the kids, and with his daughters, and
Yeah.
um
And those are
and
the
all that.
director's real daughters
Oh, that's sweet.
behind the scenes.
cool story.
Come on. What'd you think, Bill? Wait,
Uh,
wait, hold on. Bill said to me,
Oh,
he texted me after watching it, "Oh Lord, you hate me." So, Bill, what'd you think of this movie?
I no. Okay, so I originally put it in. Ian sent me the DVD from
It's a really hard movie to find.
the East Coast to the Pacific Northwest where I live, and then I was
By
like,
pigeon.
"Oh, this has to be a really good movie." And
For him to send it.
yes, I go, I'm in for a treat. Like the worst person in the world. That was such a magnificent movie. I wonder if it's going to be even better. So I
Oh,
popped
you
it
went in
in.
with the highest expectations.
So I popped it in and I go, I ain't watching this. And I shut it off. And then I felt bad. And then last night I watched it and I found the actors completely charming. The music was brutal. It was a little on the nose, slightly derivative of Rain Man, but I understand what
Yeah.
they're going for. I think it was a perfect time capsule of that time.
Yes.
Did find the fighting with the wife refreshing because that's how a lot of relationships are, and they're ugly and they're messy.
Yes.
And I get what they're going for. I appreciate the effort, and I'm glad I live in a world where a movie like this could get made. You know,
Plus, you know, I don't hate you.
no, you do hate me, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I get what they're doing here. Just after Rain Man, it's tough. You know, it's tough to do a movie like that.
I didn't think of that back then about Rain Man. And also there's moments like where they go on a bus ride. It feels a bit like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I rewatched this week.
That's like,
yeah, that was very slight. Oh, did you see? Can I just, maybe our audience doesn't know this, but I went to see the 50th anniversary of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest the other day. I go to the concession stand. The concession stand guy asked, "What movie you seen?" I said, "Oh, the 50th anniversary of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest." He's like, "Oh, I haven't seen any old classics other than the Home Alone movies."
I agree with them. Home Alone's a classic.
But come on. I guess that just means I'm old, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I understand. You know, that's the point of the show, is to find movies that people should really give a chance to, and this is one of them.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Austin. Now, Bill, let's go on to your pick.
Did I pick a movie?
Well, sort of. I mean, if you can call it one.
So I picked Mad Dog and Glory. Ian does not like this movie because it's about males and
I do like it. But we'll get there.
masculinity.
I do like this movie.
It stars Robert De Niro, Uma Thurman, Bill Murray. It was a really hot script in the early 90s. Richard Price wrote it.
You were a hot script in the early 90s.
I wish I was.
Yes.
I'm a hot script in 2025. And Ron Howard was going to direct it. And they said, whoa. Ron Howard is not dark and gritty enough to direct this script. He eventually did a Richard Price movie called Ransom that Richard Price rewrote.
Oh, yeah.
But the guy that directed Henry, Pet Portrait of a Serial Killer, directed it. And it stars the issue. It's about a timid Chicago cop who's very lonely, can't stand up for himself, hates being a cop, really wants to be an artist. He accidentally saves the life of a Chicago gangster played by Bill Murray, and as a favor, which is not really 2000, it's not super 2025, but it does happen. Gives Robert De Niro the gift of Uma Thurman for a week, and they develop a very sweet friendship and romance, and he decides through the course of standing up for himself is able to release the bondages of himself and the bondage that Uma has to Bill Murray. What's interesting, they're both playing against type. Originally, De Niro was supposed to play the gangster, and it's such a different type of role for De Niro. Well, who really shines this movie is David Caruso. He's the best part of this movie. And I think that there was an original idea. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I think there was an original thing at the end where there was a big plot point that it had to cut out because they had to have a nice ending. So I think it got messed up with the previews and the scoring and all that stuff. It did sit on the shelf for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Scorsese and his producing partner Barbara DeFina produced it. They don't make movies like this anymore, but I truly love it. What'd you guys think? Austin, what'd you think?
I got a text from Austin, too. Go on, Austin. I will not out you.
I had the benefit of watching it with a buddy of mine who was visiting, who was originally from Chicago. So, as soon as the first police officer, not Robert De Niro, but the guy in the precinct, starts talking, I looked at my buddy Chaz. I was like, Chicago, hey, it's a good person to watch this with. It was, and we had a similar reaction. It was really weird I feel like you mentioned it was a hot script. I don't feel like the script was great. The performances were it was if you watch this film, if you hadn't seen a Robert De Niro film, an Uma Thurman film, a Bill Murray film, I feel like you would think that these people were not great at their jobs. The performances felt really just stilted, and the line delivery wasn't great. I was interested in the story, but I feel there was weird choices that happened. I mean, for as much of a stickler and a lawman all his life, the fact that Robert accepts the invitation to go to the club and he's clearly amongst gangsters.
But he's
And
lonely. He's lonely. That's why he's doing it.
I get that, but like later in the film, he's very concerned that he's being tied to potential crimes
Yeah.
from these people. But that should have been a red flag early on. Not only does he continue to sit with them, but he goes and drinks the night away with Bill Murray. My friend Chaz and I were just saying to each other, he knows he's a gangster. Why is he still
Yeah.
there? Why isn't he heading for the hills? It was, it, but to your point about it being a buddy film, I feel like it wanted to be that, but because of maybe not a great script or not a great story that was able to pull the scenes together, I didn't get that feeling. I never get that. There felt the buddy part felt too disconnected. It was. I almost wish that they actually had become real friends, and then it all unfolded and went to hell at the end. I never bought that they really bonded in the first place. So I feel like you have to sell that in order to pay off the fight at the end, where they even still part ways. You know, there's still almost like a longing. Like I think Bill Murray says, like I thought we were going to be friends. Um, and so I just it didn't pay it off. And I was just surprised. I mean, obviously all of these are fine actors, and they have done it fine films immediately before and immediately after this. And I really wondered what was going on.
Can I reveal
I
the text, or that's totally up to you?
Hold on, I just want to
oh
give a shout out to Elmer Bernstein's amazing score in the movie, which makes the movie as well.
Now, can I say the text?
Yeah,
well
read the text.
I'm gonna say one thing about the score during the couple of romantic scenes.
Yeah.
My friend and I looked at each other. I'm like, it sounds like a horror film. I don't mean to disparage the person that did the score, but we were, the combination of the score and then the scene where Robert De Niro and Uma Thurman first kiss. There's like this long, slow push in, and it gets way too close, and I'm seeing way too much of Robert De Niro's face that I
It's a
don't really
dark
need to see.
movie. It's a
And
dark movie, though.
it's yeah, but it's you would think that there would be some sort of happiness about it, and
No,
obviously he's happy that he's
Say
he's
that with a
getting
French
some.
accent.
no,
Um,
he's not happy.
That's
Nobody's
greatest.
happy in this movie till they become a man.
maybe.
Uh,
But
so
it was creepy.
here's the text, and Austin, you sure you don't mind?
No, go ahead.
Mad Dog and Glory, ... more like Bad Dog and Snorri.
Which, by the way, was my verbatim my letterbox review of it when I logged it the other night.
Here's a clip. Should I do it?
Yeah, hurry up.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus, don't shoot him, please. Don't shoot. Listen, let me tell you, there's a crime scene right down the block. You shoot, they'll hear. Please, you want the money? Just take it. Go out the back. Did you take it yet?
Did you take it yet? Jesus Christ.
Shut up. You want the money? You want the money? Just hit. You smoke? What do you smoke? Huh? Take some cards here. You like some candy?
Do you like candy? Why don't you give him a fucking back rub while you're at it?
Let's just shut up!
I don't think
Boy,
that,
what a boring scene.
no, but I don't think that scene represents the rest of the movie very well.
Yes, it does, because it's all the same action.
Well, that's the setup. Now don't get me wrong, Bill. I saw this at the theater and I liked it. I liked it. I rewatched it. I liked it again. I think it's a very, it's dark, deals with dark subject matter, but it's a very light movie. It's a very light movie. It's very the slightometer. So is green the harshest?
Yeah.
This would be a middle to the almost, I'd say a little more to the left.
Okay.
I don't think it's I like this movie. It's just very pleasant. I had a huge crush on Uma Thurman at the time, so that made it even better. It's a nice movie. I think they're good. I think Bill Murray's maybe the weakest part of it, and it's not a Bill Murray movie. It's not a funny Bill Murray movie. Yeah. He's in it maybe 25% of the time. It's mostly Uma and De Niro. I think it's a nice movie. But don't expect anything. It's not violent. It's not super funny. It's just kind of.
You don't think it's violent?
Not. There's a fight at the end, but it's pretty mild.
You think that fight is mild?
I like that end though. It is pretty mild. Though De Niro did really break his nose in that scene.
Yes. It's happened to him twice.
Yeah, I saw that. But I liked what the character of Bill Murray was doing. And ultimately it's nice. It is. Uma Thurman was 23 when they made this, and De Niro is 50, was like 50, 51, 52 or something when this movie came out. So that's an age difference, but that happens. Anyway, I liked it. I don't love it, but I don't think it's bad.
There you go.
Yeah.
So should we decide what movie won this week?
Yeah. Austin, this is the part where we each choose a movie, not our own, that we think is the best choice of the week. So
you have to pick one.
Okay. Subject wise, I lean towards The Eighth Day. Story wise, I lean towards Mad Dog and Glory. I feel like the performances lack. If I have to edge between the two, I think I come down like it's like 51-49 to Eighth Day.
You have such good taste. I knew it. Definitely everyone go to mableyhandler.com.
Ian.
Austin, I really love you. I appreciate Hudson Hawk more than I did back then, but I still can't say I'm really a fan, but I appreciate that people like it. I'm going to say Mad Dog and Glory because I still have a minor crush on Uma Thurman. Don't tell my wife. I think it's a nice movie. It's just a nice, pleasant movie. And I like that it's different. You would never see a movie like this or your choice be released in a theater nowadays. So Mad Dog is my choice. Bill?
Without question.
I know.
Hudson Hawk. Without
so
question.
Is that no one wins?
No, we all win. You know what we win, Austin?
Oh, Austin.
What do we win?
A signed headshot of Ian from 1999.
Oh man, that doesn't get old.
For a split second, I thought you were throwing up a headshot of David Caruso because he was in both of our movies, Bill.
Yes.
I thought it was the headshot of Jared Leto.
Yeah, looks like Courtney Cox from the Springsteen.
Don't see that? Do you not see that they look very similar?
You're really bad at this. To quote Mad Dog and Glory, put that away before you hurt yourself.
Hold on a minute. Okay, so this is where we find our movies. The Eighth Day, Le Huitième Jour. If you move to Europe, pretty darn easy to find. So move to Europe, or you can find a VHS, DVD copy on eBay, or again, just move to Europe, or a video store, or become friends with Ian and he'll mail you a copy. Hudson Hawk can easily be found on Netflix, and Mad Dog and Glory you can rent on Prime and on iTunes. So those are much easier to find, but find mine because it's the best.
Guys, I have one quick thing to share with you. When I mentioned to my wife Jennifer that I was doing this and I was explaining the concept of the podcast, her eyes lit up and she said, "Oh my God, I love the movie Ishtar. Talk about a misunderstood film. So if you want a funny lady to come on and talk about Ishtar."
We did Ishtar.
Oh, you did? Whose film was that? Was
who
it a
was
guest?
It wasn't mine, but
No, it's one of the guests' movies.
but
about
does your wife have any other opinion?
Yeah, does she have another one?
I'm sure she does, but I mean, literally from the time I've known her, she's like, Ishtar is the most misunderstood movie. It's a buddy movie. It's a road movie. It's about two friends that just make up comedy and entertain themselves. And I mean, that's her. Like she's, like if you say one thing about my wife, like she can have fun in a paper bag. She is like, she brings the entertainment, and you give her a sidekick, and it's like into the sunset.
We would love to have her, but see if she has another movie, just only because we've done that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I did. I missed that episode. Obviously,
We're gonna run into that problem.
Austin doesn't really watch it.
We're gonna run into that problem.
I've watched a lot of them.
Oh, I'm proud of you. Yeah, we will run into that. Other movie, yeah. Some people have said some other movies that we've done already, but please talk to her. We do want her on. But Austin, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for doing this. Everyone,
thank you, Austin. You were great.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
What is the website again, Bill? I mean, Austin.
It's
come on,
Mabley Handler, mableyhandler.com.
They are amazing. They have beautiful taste, and you dress better than anyone I know. Even
thank you.
Here's our end song.
Occupational hazard.
Yeah, I like the beer. But here it goes.
Pop the popcorn, grab a Coke, and find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops, and nuts. There are topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From backhand juice to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.